Welcome to the Shenmue AM2 podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of the Shenmue AM2 podcast. We're your hosts, Andrew
And Matt.
And we are here for a little kind of news episode, I guess. A couple things have happened since we've recorded our last episode. We've had two Kickstarter updates, 70 and 71. They're both relatively minor.
Mm-hmm.
Updates
relatively,
yeah.
Extremely minor.
And I think they're kind of filler just to make sure they meet their monthly quota.
Mm.
But if you exceed quota, you'll get a raise the following day.
You exceeded quota, son.
Episode 70, update 70. I just got to take the word episode.
Just remove it from the lexicon of your brain.
I keep messing that up. Update number 70 was just essentially saying that they'll be at Gamescom. That they for sure knew they would be in the business side of things there.
So what's that mean exactly? No presentations for public? No, media presence?
No, there would be media and stuff, just not to the public. And then update 70, and they said that they were looking at the public side of things. And then update 71 was saying that it was their details of how they're participating in Gamescom, I guess you could say it that way.
Which the previous one said those details, didn't it? It's like we're
the previous one, 70 said that they'd be there and that they'd be kind of for sure doing the business side of it. Mm-hmm. But 71 said, there's going to be some stuff there open to the public, and they did say that you'd be able to meet Yu Suzuki, which is pretty cool. And they did advise that it's going to be a Kickstarter update. That they don't have a full-blown show presentation thing they're doing there. Mm. And as we mentioned in one of the podcasts, or I mentioned one of the podcasts previous episode, that's how I figured it would be, because there's no sense not to do it when they could get two birds stoned at once.
So the good news is that we'll get the info as soon as it's available. It doesn't have to go to Gamescom first, then go out to us through media. It's just going to go to the Kickstarter update. Right?
Yeah. I kind of have mixed feelings about it, because it kind of takes the luster of us sitting in my basement watching it.
Yeah.
But those Kickstarter updates always come out in the morning.
I know. It's always I'm on my way out the door to work, and then, there's a Kickstarter update.
That presents its own problem to us. Do we care if we watch it together? I don't
know if there's gonna.
I don't want to wait that long.
Are you assuming there's going to be a video in this Kickstarter update?
They said there should be a video.
Okay.
And there's new announcements, whatever those might be.
Nah, it would be kind of weird to have us sit down together and open up a Kickstarter update and then just listen to us reading it. Oh yeah. Well, let's watch the video. Whoa.
So we will be doing a Gamescom our thoughts, obviously, an episode devoted to that after that comes out. We'll try to get it out, I guess, as soon as we possibly can afterwards. Mm-hmm. I don't imagine the episode would be too long. This episode that we're recording now will be out before Gamescom. So those were the two Kickstarter updates. MCVU, was that the name of the magazine? They were doing an article, or an interview, I should say, with John Clark, the VP of Publishing for Sega's Europe division. Mm-hmm. And they asked him about porting games to PC, and obviously they touched on Shenmue, and this is his verbatim reply. It's something we would love to make happen, something we are trying to make happen. I think we want it to happen as much as anybody out there. Yes, it's a serious task, and it's not a task that we're not working on. Nice little double negative in there.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
It's something we're actively pursuing.
I feel like they've used these exact same words before.
They probably have, but that indicates to me that there's something that's not necessarily in their control that's keeping them from making this happen.
Sega Japan.
Sega Japan, or if Microsoft does have those console exclusive rights to Shenmue 2.
Yeah.
And they can't do Shenmue HD without doing Shenmue 2 HD.
Well, they could, but
well, they could, yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be as good.
No. So that was pretty neat. It didn't get as much hype around it as I thought it would.
The comment?
Yeah, the comment. I thought it would get more.
That's because we've heard this before.
Yeah, I suppose you're probably right with that.
Yeah, like we're tired of being let down. We're not gonna, unless it's a trailer or legit confirmation, then it's just more of the same that we've been hearing for years and years.
Do you think they piggyback on the Kickstarter update? And
no,
like they're
kind
of
of connected.
bluffing?
They're not connected at all.
No, but do you think they piggyback with Yu Suzuki to just at the end of it be like, "Oh, here you go," because they know people are going to look at those Kickstarter updates, right?
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I don't think if there is HD remasters, I don't think they'll do any sort of cross promotion at all. I don't think.
I hope they do.
Just
really,
they're so
really
separate.
hope.
Like Sega's barely involved in Shenmue 3.
Yeah, but Sega could be getting a commission or, a cut of the profits off of it, right, for giving him the rights.
I'm sure they are, but I think they're just like, yeah, we'll make that deal. Sign, forget about it, wait for the check.
But they can increase that check if they do.
Yeah, I mean, it would be smart for them to do it, but I don't think they will. Maybe I'm a pessimist.
You gotta be an optometrist. Another really cool thing that happened a couple days ago, there's a video out by Shenmue Dojo, is Switch from Phantom Riverstone got a hack done of the Passport disc.
Doing God's work.
So, Matt and I have both watched the video, and it just kind of, obviously there's no live stuff on it, or the high scores for the, hang on or anything like that. But essentially, in layman's terms, he figured out a way to make it bypass the authentication of it being connected to a dial-up connection. So it just goes into it, and the video goes through all the menus. We'll put a link to that video in the description of our podcast here and on the YouTube page. And it's pretty neat just to kind of see new stuff, because I really hadn't seen any of that before. And
you never played around with that at the time?
No, I didn't have the internet at the time.
Oh.
But it's kind of like when I mentioned on the episode when we talked about the fighter jets and how there's like the 5 fighter jets that you can see instead of the plane.
Yeah.
Or when we tried it in VR. Like, this game's so old and I'm experiencing something new about it.
Yeah.
And even though I'm not physically playing it, it's something new that I can see, and I really enjoy that kind of thing.
Yeah. Have you ever watched any of the videos online of like Rio clipping through walls to explore areas that you couldn't get to normally and stuff?
I've watched a few of them. I think James Reiner has a couple on his page.
Yeah, I think so.
Him and the modding community on this game is pretty good. It's just discovering something new. I like it.
Modding can be fun. I'm pretty sure I've even seen a video of like the opening cutscene where somebody replaced Fukusan in Ryo's arms with Lon D, and he's like, shit, like, Fukusan. And he's like just Lon D in his arms.
He doesn't hold... Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. I was going to say, he doesn't hold Fukusan in his arms. You mean when he comes flying out of the dojo?
Yeah.
My favorite mod is the one of him and Nozomi on the park bench.
Oh, maybe that's
and
what
it's Londi.
Yeah.
And Londi's snuggled up to him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Whoever... I think that was Bloomio that did that one. I'm not sure. But if I'm giving the right person credit. But whoever did it, thank you, because it's quite hilarious. So that's, I think, most of the news that we wanted to touch on in this episode. Matt and I have been doing this podcast for a year now. We originally were on SoundCloud, and that released in early August of 2016. So we just kind of want to just chat a little bit about what we think so far of how we've done and fan response and everything. Personally, I think we're doing pretty good.
Yep. For a niche, like the nichiest podcast ever. Almost.
Yeah. Well, like listening to podcasts itself is kind of a niche hobby, and then it's definitely growing. I mean, my wife and I listen to like Nerdist and stuff in the car on the way to work.
Yeah.
But about a niche video game,
yeah,
it's. I mean, this is also my first time doing a podcast. Matt, you've done.
I started my first podcast about Twin Peaks in 2011. So,
and then you have one about...
Oh, I've had many. One about Briscoe County Jr., one about The Defenders, one about video games in general. There's others. I'm forgetting.
Did you do an X-Files one? Or were you on an X-Files one?
I sent in feedback to that one every week for the first 5 or 6 seasons, and then I stopped because I didn't like the show.
The podcast show or the actual show?
The actual show. I love the hosts, but they also hated the show, but they went all the way through to the end.
So you're a quitter is what you're saying.
I was allowed to quit. I wasn't a host. They're not allowed to quit.
That's how this works?
Yeah, I was just a feedbacker.
Yeah, it's fun. I enjoy doing it.
Everybody start a podcast.
Yeah, except about Shenmue, because we're the Shenmue podcast.
Yeah.
Patent pending, people.
That's how it was for Twin Peaks when I started that in 2011. There was no other Twin Peaks podcasts on the internet, and I was like, oh, I guess I should do it then. So I did it. And then between then and when the show was announced to come back in like 2014 or so, there might have been like maybe 2 more pop up. But now that the show's back in 2017, there's tons and tons and tons of them. But I had the original, and we'll always have the original Shenmue podcast. Actually, no, we won't. There was another one, but he pod faded. He's gone.
Yeah, it was only like 2 or 3 episodes, wasn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
I think it was called the Shenmue Cast.
Yeah, I think so.
We should find that person and have him on.
Yeah. So why'd you quit? I know it's hard work.
The 4-woo do.
It's hard work podcasting about Shenmue. No one appreciates it.
Yeah, like, I'm really surprised at the results we've had. Between everything we've done, like SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, in a year we're approaching 7,000 contacts, downloads, whatever you want to call them. Our feedback, we have yet to receive a negative piece of feedback.
That's pretty amazing, considering it's the internet.
Yeah, the internet's pretty gross sometimes. We have yet to have a thumbs down on our YouTube page as of recording this, and we have like 200 some thumbs ups. Please continue to thumbs up our videos if you do like them. We need to get boosted up in the YouTube search engine. I just wanted to see how deep we were, and unless you actually search Shenmue AM2 podcast or Shenmue AM2, we don't actually come up in a general Shenmue search on YouTube, which surprised me.
Yeah, so, there's a lot of videos that have been on YouTube for a long time before we ever started up.
Yeah. So give us those thumbs up. Please subscribe. We have 130 some subscribers on YouTube. iTunes is where we see the bulk of our downloads. We're approaching 4,000 on iTunes alone, which I think is really impressive. We definitely get the spikes when we put out an episode. People tend to download it right away. I mean, iTunes might do that automatically for them, but
yeah,
it's still pretty cool. We're starting to get some, like, people have requested to be on the show, which I think is amazing. We've had a couple guests on already that we've kind of contacted. We do have another one coming up, which is, I think, a really good episode.
Very interesting. Yeah,
it was very interesting.
It's a little bit of an M. Night Shyamalan twist story.
It turns out that Cool Z is the leader of the Cheetah
come on, drop it.
We've even had what I thought was one of the coolest things, and I really hope people continue with this. We had someone submit a sponsor idea for one of our episodes.
Yeah, we need help with those.
It was a great one. It's coming up in the episode where we recorded when we have our special guest on. I'm gonna post a list of all the sponsors that we've already used on our Facebook page, and if anyone wants to submit them, please send them to Shenmue AM2 podcast at gmail.com, and we will do our best to give you credit. Once we release that episode that we've recorded, the following episode we need to give that person credit, because I think I forgot to do it in that episode.
Oh no.
But thank you. I promise it was a great one and we used it. But yeah,
we do need help with these, because literally every time we sit down we're like, oh shit, we gotta come up with a sponsor.
It's the last thing we do before every episode. Or sometimes we'll record an episode and then we'll get to the end and be like, you're gonna have to edit this, Matt. But yeah, we don't want to use any repeats until we absolutely need to, but there are a ton of businesses in Shenmue 2.
Yeah.
Popular ones like Unicorn Dentist, which we've already used, by the way. Yeah, I'm having fun doing it. we're at the point now where we can record an episode or two at a time. I'm getting better at trying to not mention things outside the podcast that would affect the continuity of them. We have a couple episodes coming up. We have our special guest one. We're actually recording another music one, the one for Shenmue 2.
We're going to record that in like approximately 5 minutes, maybe?
Yeah, we'll do it after this one. And then for future show ideas, we're going to probably do one about Shenmue Online, probably do one about Project Berkeley. Matt mentioned early on in the podcast, like doing profiles for characters. I think that'd be really fun. Because we can just use the guide for those.
Yeah, just read some interesting backstories that you usually wouldn't know unless you had access to that.
And their blood type, which is something that's really popular in Japan for some reason.
Because in Japan, your blood type is basically what's your sign in
Your
North
horoscope?
America. Your horoscope, yeah.
What is your horoscope?
It's Pisces.
I'm a Cancer.
Oh, well, usually...
Yeah. I said I'm a Cancer, and you said, like that's a, do you know something I don't?
It doesn't mean anything to me.
Oh, okay, good.
I don't know what my
I thought you
noise
knew
was.
something I didn't.
No. Oh, I see.
Should we record more of these in bulk soon? My impending doom.
But in Japan, it's like, what's your blood type? This. What's your blood type? This. Oh, we're compatible. Like, romantically, because our blood... or whatever.
That's weird.
The whole horoscope thing is weird, yes.
It is. Where the stars are in the sky and your birthday
When you're
affects
born.
what type of person you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also, I think, are going to do a couple episodes in the future about games that, you know, we would recommend to you because you like Shenmue. Mm-hmm. And I think we could also do an episode where Matt and I just recommend games that we like that we think our listeners might like, not because they like Shenmue, but just because we like them and we think they're good games.
Yeah.
That'd be an interesting one. And
we should do an episode, like, if enough people give us feedback that we can read, we should, or reviews or whatever, we should do an episode where we just read reviews.
Yeah. We'd love to have more reviews on iTunes as well. We wanted to get to the point where it'll show our rating. We're almost there. So please just take the time to do that. That'd be awesome and really help us out.
Should probably end it here. We're just kind of rambling.
Yeah, I guess we're rambling.
Not fun to listen to.
So you can find us on the social media at Shenmue AM2 Podcast at gmail.com. We are Shenmue AM2 Pod on the Twitter. Shenmue AM2 Podcast on Facebook. We have a group and a page. We got to get an Instagram account so I can just send random photos to people. And yeah, so send us your feedback, your comments, your thumbs up, your like, subscribe, all that internet stuff. And yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Zhang Barbershop.
Our prices are great. They're cutthroat. Thanks, guys.
Merci.